There we go.
Well, welcome to History Through World Numismatics. I'm the skipper, the numismaniac, and my buddy Dale, Coin World UK.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome aboard. We're running a few minutes late. I'm the skipper, the numismaniac. And of course, I got that sound still coming. I keep forgetting about that thing. Going through some of my coin books here today, and I realized Canada, the first coin that we minted was 1858, and we didn't actually do any minting of coins until 1870. So I have no coins from Canada to show for the period 1860 to 64. So thank goodness I can rely on my pictures from eBay and some of the U.S. And of course, Dale here, he's got a few that he can share with us, which is a wonderful thing. Yeah. So how are you doing, Dale?
I'm doing well, thank you. It's great to see everyone. It's great to see Kane. It's great to see you, Skipper, Alan W., Evil Arch Conservative. Sorry, it's my fault, mate. I had a bit of an issue with my sound, and Skipper's been waiting for me to come back, do a reset and stuff. It's my fault. It's late, and I apologise. I hope everyone's having a great day. We have YouTube Matchmaker, Metal Detector, North Carolina, I believe. Is it North Carolina or is that is it Canada? North Canada? I can't remember.
Metal Detecting North Carolina?
Looks like it.
Yeah, that's definitely not Canada.
No, I mean, I don't know if that's North Canada, you saying, or if that's
North Carolina.
Yeah. Or North Connecticut, I don't know.
North Connecticut.
North Carolina, USA. It could be North Cumbria. If it's north, it's going to be cold. There you go, northern cold. So it's great to see everybody. Got some amazing coins. The only date I'm missing is 1861.
Oh. Well, I'm sure we can find one online to show everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, I was looking through some of the ones that are here, and tell you the truth, they're not too bad. I mean, I got an 1860 Indian head that I was looking at here.
Oh, beautiful.
It's kind of nice.
New Canada. New Canada.
Now, I was told that wasn't actually an Indian. That was Lady Liberty wearing a headdress.
That's right.
Does anybody know that? Is that true?
Yeah. I say it on my videos quite a lot.
It doesn't do her justice, you know.
I reckon it's pretty, actually. I reckon it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, boy, it better not be eagle feathers. She'll end up going to jail.
Bald eagle. Bald eagle. That's what they call bald eagles. Everybody's nicked their feathers out.
Ghost Nancy T. Hi there.
Hey, Ghost Nancy. How's it going? It's great to see everyone. Welcome back to History with Coins and Numismaniac, of course. If you've never been here before, how it works is find as much information for 1860 only, and then we'll do a few minutes on each year, and then we'll read them back. And then
just watch for the go in the chat, and then when I type stop, anything that's that happens after doesn't count. We'll still review it, but we'll count the ones between 5 minutes typically, unless we get more than 10 people. So I will be the man in charge of the counter, and we can talk a little bit right now. I think what I'm going to share before everybody starts kicking in is that, 1860 was kind of a cool year. For me, being a veteran, the Queen's Own Rifles of Canada actually started in 1860, so it's quite an old unit.
Isn't that one of your units you went? You
No,
served
I
in?
didn't belong to the Queen. The Queen's Own were actually incorporated into the Royal Canadian Regiment back in the early 70s. To their
Okay.
chagrin, they were not happy about that. Not Queen's Own Rifles. No, not. They went to the PPCLI. Who was it? It was the Canadian Guards went to the RCR.
Oh,
The
okay.
Queen's Own went to the Patricias. And, when they rebadge, the guys don't like it too much because they have a loyalty to the regiments. 1860, Montreal's Victoria Bridge opened. And in Ottawa, the cornerstone of the center block building is laid by Prince Albert Edward, Prince of Wales, signaling the beginning of the building of the Parliament's buildings of Canada, which is very cool. One sad note, though, in 1860, there was 206 killed when the SS Hungarian was wrecked at Cape Sable off the coast of Nova Scotia. So that's my little bit to share. You got something from Great Britain to throw at us?
I do indeed. I'm just going to skim through this. The paddle steamer Nimrod is wrecked off St. David's Head in Wales, and 45 people were sadly killed. The Artist Rifles is established as the 38th Middlesex Artist Rifles Volunteers Corps, with headquarters at Burlington House, London. So that sort of ties in with the rifles that you was talking about.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's it. I'm going to leave that there so the chat can whack a few bits.
Okay, well, I'm going to put down the magic word, go.
And while you're doing that,
type in chat their information.
Now, the only problem with this is that it's going to be pretty hard to see. So, we
don't have to worry about it until after they finish putting their stuff in. So we'll just let them do their thing. We'll go back.
Um, 1860.
What else we can find here for coinage for 1860? Oh, they're showing a lot of the. Oh, there's an interesting one. Hey.
Oh, that's actually really cool. That's a gold $1. Oh, it's a token coin. That's not bad actually for $117. You know.
Yeah, not bad at all. Turned it into a token. I wonder what else we can find there.
I got an 1860 penny. And how much do you think that one's worth?
Oh, 1860, early Victoria. High points are really worn on that baby. Is that what's it? Is it silver?
Nope, it is copper.
Copper. I would say in that condition, I would say.
Why is my camera looking so dark?
70 pounds.
There you go. I'll just get your price guide.
Holy crap! Are you serious?
Yeah.
So it's a key date.
No, that one is the thing is when you see these 1860 coins. I think I explained about this to you a while ago. There is so many variants. Now, the most expensive one is the copper one. That's the first one. And then there's a whole roadmap of 1860 variants. There's got to be 10, 14 variants. And
wow.
It's as you know of, but I wouldn't even know what my one is worth, to be honest. So I'll show you my one. This is my one.
Thanks, Susie Q.
Hey, Susie Q. This is my 1860. I'll just take out the flip.
Yeah, it doesn't show very well when the plastic's on there. And of course, we got Dimebag, who's probably working again.
So there's my 1860. It's in fantastic condition.
Oh, that's a nice shape. Yeah.
It's been in the flip, so that's probably just. That's light on there. There you go. It's in beautiful condition.
Yeah, you can see it better that way.
It'd be hard pressed to get one like this.
Hey, the Bud Files is on. Hi.
Hey, Bud Files. And there's only 5,053,444 of these made. So 1860, what's that? 162 years ago?
Something like that. Yeah.
We just lost the page now. I wouldn't even know what. I mean, as I said, I wouldn't even know where to start to even count every single dentacle and.
Oh yeah. Well, you start looking at changes in denticles and everything. That's fine stuff.
Yeah, that's obviously the copperhead is going to be the most expensive, but I wouldn't even know. I mean, let's go to the last. I don't even know if they can show. But even the pictures on there is nowhere near the quality what I've shown.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Stop.
Okay.
Not you. Well, what do we got here today? Starting with metal detecting NC. The Pony Express leaves Sacramento to St. Louis, Missouri, April 3rd, 1860.
Wow. Let me just go back up to the go bit. Sorry, Skip, I'm just moving stuff out the way. She Digs is online.
Yeah, I guess we should have mentioned to stick to the first year. We're only on 1860 right now.
Pony Express leaves Sacramento to St. Louis, Missouri, April 3rd, 1860. Did you just say that one?
That's what I just said.
March 3rd, 1860, Laura Bell McCoy Fredrickson, my great-grandmother, mum's side. She remarried after her first husband, Hiram Shirk, died in 1949. Wow.
I'm going to be looking for that other
awesome. One. So, Confederate forces now.
August 7th, 1860, slave captain Nathaniel Gordon loads 897 Africans, over 60% of which were children, onto his ship Erie. These people were destined for slavery in South America.
Wow. Confederate forces begin bombarding Fort Sumter in Charleston Harbor on April 12th, 1861. Okay.
That's why I skipped it.
Yeah. All right, okay. You know the only death was in Fort Sumter, didn't you?
The dog.
Horse.
Oh, horse. Oh, it's a good guess. It was an animal.
That's where they got the Star Spangled Banner from, I believe, because it's the only.
Yeah, Francis Scott Keyes was watching it off the coast.
That's right. April 3rd, 1860. Oh, I've done that one. Afternoon, so Susie Q in 1860. Numismatics, I love your video you did on Edmonton.
Oh, yeah, when I visited him as St. Nicholas. Yeah, that was cool.
That was pretty cool. I love that shot. For 18 months, by this series of riders of horseback, the rendered obsolete when transcontinental telegraph completed. So that's 1861 again. August 1850 miles port slave ship Erie capped. The slaves were taken to Liberia, captured, Engord, and arrested and taken to New York. President Buchanan declared he would never hang a slave.
Wow. 1860, June 9th, the first dime novel, Maleska, the Indian Wife of the White Hunter, written by Anne Sophia Stevens, who lived between 1813 and 1886, was published by Beadle and Adams in New York City.
Wow. 1860. Do you hear this, babe? Right, listen. 1860. Right, a manual vacuum cleaner was invented by Daniel Hess of Western Union, Iowa, called the carpet sweeper. It was gathered dust with a rotating brush and had a bellows for generating suction. So it wasn't a woman who invented it, it was a man.
Ferret 45, 2nd of April, 1860, the first Italian parliament meets in Turin, Italy.
Oh, cool. This was a good one. Evil Arch Conservative. Total solar eclipse. Warren D. LaRue and Anglo Cixi photographs of this event demonstrates the solar character of prominences of the red flames seen around the limb of the moon. In other words, that's the corona.
1860, June 23rd, the U.S. Secret Service was created to arrest counterfeiters and protect the president. That was signed into law on the day Abraham Lincoln was shot. So the bill had been created, but hadn't been enacted until after his death, which is one of the unique things that happened. The fact that one of the last things that Lincoln did was to start the Secret Service, also to protect the president. Think about that, right?
And you know, Secret Service protects the family for 12 years, is it, after presidency or something?
Mm-hmm.
Robert Bunsen and Gustav Kirchhoff is using their newly improved spectroscopes to discover name Caesium, a mineral in water of Bad Dürkheim, Germany. Oh, spectrometer. All right, okay. Oh no. So I was just trying to figure out. Okay.
Metal Detecting NC says the U.S. 2-cent pieces were issued in that's 1864. You're jumping ahead, buddy. 1860.
Oh yeah, okay. The 6th of May, 1860, Giuseppe Garibaldi's mail set sail from Geneva to the Kingdom of the Two Seychelles. Now, there's a biscuit.
Not Seychelles, Sicilies.
Oh, Sicilies, the two Sicilies. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Do you know there's a biscuit called the Garibaldi, who was invented by the I think it was him, and I think he was a commander, and he invented the biscuit of the Garibaldi.
Interesting. Evil Arch Conservative writes, Albert Neiman makes a detailed analysis of the cocoa leaf, isolating and purifying the crystalline alkaloid, which he calls cocaine. Oh, you bad man.
12th June 1860, the State Bank of Russia Empire is established.
Let's see. EAC says July 9th, the Nightingale Training School and Home for Nurses The first nursing school based on the ideas of Florence Nightingale is opened at St. Thomas Hospital in London. Very interesting.
Here we go. If you just quickly read this for the Garibaldi. The Garibaldi biscuit was named after Giuseppe Garibaldi. It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, cool.
9th of July, 15th of October 1860, 11-year-old Grace Bedell writes the Abraham Lincoln telling him to grow a beard. Oh,
that's cool because he looked terrible without a beard.
he looked ill, to be honest.
Yeah, he looked very gaunt.
He did. He looked very, very frail. San Francisco now, 1860.
July 4, 1860, San Francisco, the Market Street Railroad Company opened a line on Market from 3rd to Valencia, running both horse car and steam train lines.
Wow.
That
was a huge feat in itself.
That was an uphill and downhill endeavor.
Carries on, actually. This was the first street railway on the Pacific coast. It was opened by banker Francois. Is that Piquet?
Piochet?
Piochet. The steam railway ran from a Battery and a Market to Valencia, then south to his Willows Beer Garden. South Profit in there, I see.
She digs it. Hi, she digs it. I just spotted you there.
Yeah, she digs. I hope you're doing good.
April 9th, the earliest known decipherable sound recording of the human voice, a phonotogram produced by Edouard Leon Scott de Martinville, recreated via laser. What? 2008.
Yeah.
Okay.
He says continued. So when we get to that bit,
I'm curious.
Actually, there is actually a true story where the little disc that they were recorded on, on the auto phonogram, some was demonstrated that had Queen Victoria's voice on it on live TV, and they dropped it on live TV.
Oh no! Those were they were made out of wax, weren't they?
Yeah. So it was just going to break regardless.
Sad.
Hence vinyl come in.
Ferret 45.
Oh, and also no, not Queen Victoria. Charles Dickens' voice. Sorry. Is it Charles? Yeah, Charles Dickens' voice. It would have been his only voice who'd have actually heard him talk. I'm pretty sure it's one of them, either Queen Victoria or Dickens' voice, and they dropped it on live TV on the BBC. 1860, weight changed on US silver coins. The weight change was denoted by arrows at the date. Sealed Liberty silver coins.
Where are you? You jumped on me. We're back on Ferret 45. 28th December 1860, Harriet Tubman arrives in Auburn, New York, on her last mission to free slaves, having evaded capture for 8 years on the Underground Railroad.
Yeah, that's after my one.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not the same, is it? Sometimes.
Oh, that's weird.
Continued. Oh, Wikipedia. Okay, with Evil Arch Conservative.
Susie Q, just to jump in, Susie Q. We review some coins. We show some coins for each year.
Yeah.
And when I say go in the chat, then everybody has 5 minutes to type whatever research they can find during the year, in this case, 1860. And then when I say stop at the end of 5 minutes, Dale and I review the chat and go through the stuff that you guys have provided. We also include our own at the beginning, so you get an idea. But it's just show the history that went on during the time that these coins that we've shown have been minted.
Yeah, so it gives it kind of like a guidance.
Yeah.
I kind of destroy the chat. That's my aim. It's too many red ships. That's what it is. 29th of December 1860, the first British seagoing ironclad warship HMS Warrior is launched. That's pretty interesting, actually, 1860. So, yeah.
Yeah, it is. August 11, 1860, the first U.S. successful silver mill began operation near Virginia City, Nevada.
Okay. Oh, the one I read out was for Ferrari. Budfile says, hello, peoples. And then Evil Arts Conservatives says about the Thames Iron Works with HMS Warrior as well after. So
Right.
I don't know if that's on yours as well. So
it's a bit wackadoodle.
Yours, you just said about Alan W.'s insert, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm on Ferrari 45. The 12th of October 1860, British and French troops capture Beijing.
Beijing. Holy crap. February 29th, Herman Hollerith, who happened to have died in 29, American statistician, punch card data processing inventor. Oh, thank you, Herman.
October 1860, John Hanning, is that Spec? Depends how you pronounce it. And James Augustus Grant leave Zanzibar to research the source of the Nile. Do you think the Nile looks like a slug?
I've never thought of it that way. It's just a
looks
river.
Like, like two bits sticking out of it, so it looks like it's like a little slug or a snail without its house.
Yeah, they're still arguing over comparing the length of the Nile River to the Amazon as being the longest river.
Yeah.
But it depends on what they consider the source.
Yeah.
Where
by the is it?
Oh, there we go.
Persian Gulf, isn't it, or Mediterranean, isn't it?
Where it ends up?
No, where it's sourced from.
Oh, it's source water is in the interior of the country, like Lake Tanganyika or some bloody thing like that. I'm not sure which one it is. I have to look it up. 1860. This is an important one. This is important, especially for you. 1860, first recorded fish and chip shops in the UK. Joseph Mallin's in London and John Lee's in Moseley near Oldham, Lancashire.
There's a bit of a controversial about it because Harry Ranston's, people forget about the Harry Ranston's brand, which was also one of the first, or the first sale of fish and chips. But who knows? Because there's also the one in London saying that they're the oldest. One in Oldham says there's actually quite a lot that says there's the oldest. I don't really care as long as they taste good and the fish is good and the chips are good.
Yeah. Wrapped in newspaper. I know they don't do that anymore, but it was cool.
I know they ruined that. Ink poison is part of the parcel of it. 1860, San Francisco, the Cavalry Cemetery was established.
Lincoln was elected president of the United States of America in 1860.
1860.
And apparently he grew a beard.
It's Susie Q put an 1861 thing there. Pooh, I was tardy. I was only guessing that. Oh, okay. Fooey. Nancy, good afternoon. Must take a nap before kids get home. Hey there, you guys. Hello, Dale. Alan W was wondering was on screen. Coin. Metal detector and see got my coin stream at 6p Eastern trying to make it. Just trying to look for the next 1860 Taffy coins. For your information, Lincoln suffered from severe depression. Oh, here we go. 1860, 20,000 New England shoe workers strike and win higher wages. Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, Maya's coin snuck in there.
Hey, Maya. It's weird. I feel entertained while I am learning stuff. I think I need a nap.
I suppose you are all older than me. I wasn't even alive in 1860. When we get to the 1980s, I'll have something to type.
I see I've caught up, Skip.
Yeah, let's take a look and see what kind of coins we got for 1861. Of course, I won't be able to find any Canadian ones, darn it. Ooh, that's a nice one. Wow, that's expensive. There's an 1861 for you. Check out the price they want on that one.
$400 coin, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Those are nice coins. I like that.
There we go. Yeah, this is from Baldwin's. Baldwin's is like the pinnacle of all the coin companies in England, and that is about the same, about £325. That one. Not expensive as a copper one, though. I've still got the 1860 coin here.
Yeah, that 1861 is an interesting year, considering it's the year the Civil War started. Also, that year they had a major flood that hit Montreal here in Canada and Quebec. The UK actually declared its neutrality in the American Civil War.
They did, didn't they? Because they did. Well, I think there's probably torn between like both states, really. You know, both sides with what was going on with people.
The UK banned naval craft or privateers of American belligerents from carrying prizes into British ports or territorial waters. Well, that's not fair.
When the American Civil War breaks out, leading to Lancashire cotton famine.
That's interesting.
Right, okay, listen to this, right? There is the Civil War breaks out, yeah?
Yeah.
Thomas Cook runs the first package holiday from London to Paris.
Good grief. And so goes the tourism industry. Thomas Cook. Oh, my goodness. That is so funny. And there's Lauren and Finn, the Jackshi.
She's away at the moment, so she's not actually here. She's all the way in Kidderminster.
Wow. And we're just about ready to go for the chat. Just give it a second. Everybody's got itchy fingers to get their data out there.
There is one thing, actually, though. The British Empire established bases in Lagos to stop the slave trade.
Good. Go.
Good luck, everybody. Let's I'm gonna see.
Yeah, 1861 was an interesting year, eh?
It was a very interesting. And that weird, you got like United Kingdom stays neutral, but Thomas Cook runs a package holiday, and then they're now saying, hang on a minute, now they're fighting with the Civil War over slavery, more or less. And let's abolish the slave traders at the same time, which is obviously, a really good thing. Nothing against that. But it's weird how all things tie into different events. So So that flood, did that flood affect where you were or back then? Because you didn't always live in Alberta, did you?
Well, there wasn't a heck of a lot going on in Alberta at that time.
I suppose it was just like farming communities, wasn't it, rather than built up?
Pretty well. Farming, trapping,
doing all
cattle.
sorts of. Is this still like go around like North America, North Canada, and well, not North Canada, but where you are, where you got all like the huts that people would live in back then? You know, those wooden log cabins.
Oh, you're talking about sod shanties?
Probably.
Yeah, they haven't used them in years, but there was a time when they were quite well used.
Is there any site for museum pieces that what Canada was like before the? Because they're like obviously in America when I went down to Fort Worth, it was like time forgot. It really is. You know, they still wear like.
There are virtually no original built. Well, there are some, but there are very few original buildings or establishments that are still around. I mean, even the forts, things like Fort Edmonton, Fort Whoop-Up, that sort of thing. Fort Steele, they're gone. They're wooden. They couldn't handle it, and but they rebuilt reproductions of them.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
In fact, Fort Edmonton used to be right below where the legislature sits right now. And they've moved it quite a ways on the other side of the river and set up a reproduction of the fort exactly the way it looked.
Yeah.
And they built an entire village by physically dismantling and moving period buildings, and they built towns. And you go inside Fort Edmonton, and you actually have you're going on 1909 Street, then you're on 1885 Street.
Yeah.
And it's very cool the way they've done it.
I mean, as I said, the only thing I can compare it with is Fort Worth, where obviously down through the stockyards, it's like time forgot. It's like it is literally like the only thing wrong with it is cars not tied up on the outside. You know, it should be horses.
Right.
You know, that's the only thing that's different. You know, and you know you get your Stensons there and all that sort of thing, and things like that. So yeah, it was like a time leap. As I said, the only thing wrong with it was the cars. There was no horses outside. But yeah, it's just like these period pieces, history buildings and stuff. You know, it's just something I would love to go around and have a look at. You know what I mean? Those sort of things.
Yeah, they're. We even have a Ukrainian village here.
Okay.
Where you can actually go and they have actors, and you can walk through an 1800s Ukrainian village.
Wow!
So it's kind of cool.
So that's like the Black Country Museum is like here. Everything is done through year by year. So it could be you walk in 1 minute, and it's one timeline. It won't go another. They completely change it for the next thing. But you can reenact as well. You can actually go around and walk around with the actors and. Because they actually do work there. Obviously, they actually work there, so it's really, really good.
It's a living museum.
Yes, a living museum. Yeah, so they live out. No, when they do like the period times and stuff, say from the early 1800s to the 1900s.
Stop. Okay, what have we got in chat?
Right, let's go to the go bit.
First one is Evil Arch Conservative. Evil Arch Conservative says, November 9th, 1861, after 2 trials with the Dream Team lawyers, slave captain Nathaniel Gordon is convicted under, not convinced, convicted under the 1820 Piracy Act, sentenced to death by hanging. You got to convince me to go on those gallows.
Yeah, you convinced me. All right, I'll get home. The Civil War in the United States obviously begins in 1861, but I'll read out, obviously, Evil Arch. May 13th, Comet C, 1861 J1, the Great Comet of 1861, first observed from Australia by John Tabut. Is that right?
Charles Thorpe, Archdeacon of Durham, who died in 1862, arranges purchase of some of the Farne Islands off the northeast coast of England and employment of a warden to protect threatened seabird species. Boy, that far back they do things like that. I'm surprised.
Yeah. Austrian Snacker.
Yeah, he snuck in here. Hey.
How's it going? I can't remember which king it was, but they gave him the lordship because he was such a troublesome person in France. He was always in trouble. So I can't remember which king it was, but they gave him the lord of the Bird Island. And he thought it was such a prestigious award. And it was only like a little island by 2 meters by 2 meters.
So let me get this straight. He was a pain in their side.
Yeah.
They gave him an island, and then they gave him the bird.
Basically, yeah. And he thought it's such a, but it's still there today in London. It's just a little
unbelievable.
And he thought he was going to get this massive loads of animals.
He got gypped.
Never actually thought it like that. Gave him the bird. 9th of January 1860, a Union merchant ship, the Star of the West, is fired upon as it tries to deliver supplies to Fort Sumter in Charleston Harbor. I believe that's Sacramento, I believe, isn't it? No, South Carolina. This marks the start of the U.S. Civil War, basically. Yeah.
At the outbreak of the Civil War in April of 1861, Grant helped recruit, equip, and drill troops in Galena, then accompanied them to the state capital, Springfield, where Gov, and he ran out of steam, Anton de Berry published his first work on. That's different. No. Oh, where Richard Yates made him an aide and assigned him to the state adjutant general's office. He bought himself a position.
That was you got so engrossed then you sorry. Oh man, that was brilliant. Anton de Barry published his first work on fungi. Such a fun guy. Describes sexual reproduction in Spora, which is probably the spores of fungi, I should imagine.
Yeah, he's a fun guy, all right. Oh man. January 6, 1860, New York City mayor proposes New York becomes a free city, trading with North and South. Yeah, nice try.
Yeah. Sounds like something like a Clint Eastwood film, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Richard Yates made him. Yeah, he just done that one. Joseph Lott Schmidt publishes the Chemshy. Evil Arch Conservative, you hate me. I know it.
You always get these ones. This is funny.
Do you know what? I'm going to say the chemist student, I guess. Division 2, dimensional representations for overthrowing the molecule and reorganizing variations of atomic size.
Boy, Faye, that's giving me head spins. Wow.
It's probably all red ships I keep giving her, I guess. Get me back.
Yeah, I think this is a follow-up. L&W says Yates appointed him colonel of an unruly regiment, later named the 21st Illinois Volunteers in June of 1861.
Ferrari P45, the 15th July 1860, the steam elevator patented by Elisha Otis. Obviously, we know that with all the Otis lifts going today. Before he had engaged the enemy, Grant was appointed brigadier general through his influence of Elihu B. Washburn, a U.S. congressman from What's that? Galna?
Galena,
Galina? Galine? I can't even pronounce that.
Evil Arch Conservative says Paul Broca identifies the speech production center of the brain.
Hasn't worked for me then, has it?
No, me either.
It's all lies.
Well, imagine the steel rod going in there and poking around saying, can I make him talk? I don't know.
Ow, ow. Yep, it's working. Ow. That Japan's going really well. There is the 34 states. There were 34 states in 1861. That's actually really interesting.
And Maya gets a slash mark. On learning this news, that's still going on, LNW. On learning this news, recalling his son's precious failures, his father said, "Be careful, Ulysses. You are a general now. It's a good job. Don't lose it." To the contrary.
Ignaz Semmelweis publishes etiology, concept, and prophylaxis of childbed fever, a treatment for theory on sanitary conditions during childbirth. Okay.
Who did that one?
Evil Arch Conservative.
Okay.
And then February 29th, Ferrari P45 says U.S. state of Kansas admitted to the Union of the 34th state. And then mine as well as Metal Detecting NC says 8th of January 1860, U.S. Civil War, Union forces abandoned Fort Barrancas in favor of Fort Pikins on Santa Rosa Island near Pensacola, Florida.
I got EAC Adolf Zizmati develops a dental notation system.
Notation system. 31st July 1860, state of Louisiana takes over U.S. Mint as New Orleans U.S. Civil War. So Louisiana takes over U.S. Mint at New Orleans. All right, okay, that's pretty interesting.
9th of February 1861, Confederate Provisional Congress declares all laws under the U.S. Constitution were consistent with Constitution of Confederate States. U.S. Civil War. Okay.
Okay. Metal Detecting NC. U.S. Mint. This is from Metal Detecting NC. U.S. Mint at that word Georgia seizes the Confederate U.S. Civil War. That word. Dalonga.
Dalonga. Daloniga.
I'm never ever going to laugh at anybody saying Leicester again. They go Leicester.
Wow, that's wicked. Yeah.
1861, Civil War, Union forces abandoned. I already said that one. Abraham Lincoln declares U.S. president in Washington, D.C. And I'm a German scientist now.
German scientist Philip Reis succeeds in creating a device that captures sound and converts it to electrical impulses, which are transmitted via electrical wires to another device that, of course, she's going to continue it on me. Of course, I can see the continue. Where are you? That transforms these pulses into recognizable sound similar to the original acoustical sources. Reis coins the term telephone to describe his device, the Reis telephone. Oh, isn't that interesting? Take that, Alexander Graham Bell.
1861, 59. This is from Alan W. The merchant vessel Star West New York. Yep. Confederate President Jefferson Davis inaugurated at Montgomery, Alabama, U.S. Civil War. Navajo Indians elect Hero Grande as chief. I wonder if that's actually because of the Indian chiefs, I guess.
Good question. August 5th, 1861, President Lincoln signs the first U.S. personal income tax into law, 3% of incomes over $800. Thanks, Abe.
1861, January 25th, President picked Ferdinand Chavez as black man as his first bodyguard.
All right, now that's something interesting.
Yes, actually, I remember on CBS when they did the Civil War. I remember someone, commentating about that. Narration. I'm up with EAC now, with James Clerk Maxwell demonstrates the principle of permanent three-color photography. Obviously, that's red, green, and blue. Obviously,
cool. EAC also mentions that Dr. Richard J. Gatling invented the Gatling gun. And that was quite the device.
That was a very scary device. Because imagine that when you first heard that. You heard the sounds of the single shot round, or maybe the revolver and stuff.
But well, did you ever see the movie The Last Samurai?
Yeah.
Yeah, that really showed the Gatling gun what it did.
Yeah. That changed war everywhere.
Yep.
That thing. The 18th of February, 1860, Queen Victoria Emmanuel II of Sardinia becomes the first king of Italy. That's actually quite cool.
February 4th, 1861, the Apache Wars began.
I wonder why that happened. Is it because obviously that the war itself wasn't widespread? It was kind of like isolated.
Because they pushed the native peoples into areas that had no game. They were starving. They had picked up all the diseases from the white guys. So they ended up ill, and they were mistreated. They were treated as second-class human beings, and they just got pissed off. I mean, even their hunting ground with the buffalo, they were wiping them out.
So was that the Confederates who did that, or was that the?
Oh no! It didn't. That wasn't linked to just the Confederacy. It was everybody.
So they had a lot more, because the last thing you want to do in war is have as less fronts as necessary. You don't want too many men going off and weakening your front lines. So I think that was probably a bad move on both lines there. Then January the 1st, the first steam-powered carousel recorded in Bolton, England. That's obviously just up in Manchester.
Yeah, and look at that. 20th of February, 1861, the Navy of the Confederate States, the CSN, forms for the U.S. Civil War. And there we go. There's our stop.
And on my one, with just before the stop, is on the 6th of October, 1861, revolt of the Russian students shut down the University of Petersburg, which is
very interesting.
Stalingrad.
Wow. 1862.
There's one more here just after the stop. I will still read it out.
Go ahead.
Authorities. U.S. Congress authorizes the first stamped newspaper wrappers for mailing. Done long ago. I don't know. I do have a reading issue, I'm afraid. I never used to. If you don't know, this is good exercise for me.
I know.
So I apologize. I don't mean to get it wrong. It's just that my brain just
You're never wrong. You're just technically incorrect on occasion.
I'm more or less incorrect on many occasions. Zoe,
My goodness. Guys, 1860, 1861, great answers. You provide us with some cool information.
That was a lot there. And don't forget, we have no Robert today. So, you know, I think.
Yeah, Robert hasn't been here. That's interesting. So we're going to go on to 1862. And 1862, the first thing I'm going to show you is an 1862 seated Liberty half dollar. This particular one was, getting close to $900 for this thing if you wanted to buy it. Oh. But that's a beauty.
Do you think that looks like the Britannia a little bit where it sat down, when she sat down and?
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Let me see if I can get a better picture here. Yeah, there's the reverse.
And that a beautiful design there of the eagle. Actually, I prefer that one.
Yeah, that's actually quite nice.
Obviously, without the trident, you got the flag, I believe. Is it the flag?
It looks like she's carrying a flag and a banner that says "Liberty" across the shield. Whereas, of course, you look at the Britannia, they've got the Union Jack on the shield, and the U.S. have got this it's not stars and stripes, but you take a look, they actually got stripes. See the stripes in there?
13 stripes is the 13 colonies, of course. 1860. I need to change this over a second because I have 1862. There is 3 variants here. For the life of me, I can't remember which is which. 1862 half pennies. Right. Okay.
So you got one there?
I got 3. 1862.
Okay, let's take a look at those.
Let me just have a look at the variants a minute, because there is going to be 3 variants now. It's going to be pretty hard push. I'll just show you this one because this is going to be the easiest one to show you. $1862. This is one variant. I think this is the normal date. The mintage on these vary. Let's have a look at the. Yeah, there's 50 million, just over 50 million, or 50,500,000 made of these ones. So that's a variant 1, 1862 half penny.
Right.
And then there is a different one for this one. As you can see, I haven't written anything on there yet because I need to. I've had these for ages, way back, and then this one is darkened because, as you know, Monday money was coming in, so
Monday money.
So there's like different variants of these. I have to find out. There's small date, there's normal date. But yeah, if you're looking at the small date one, I'm pretty sure. You never know. But yeah, there we go.
You know, I couldn't find any examples of Confederate coinage in 1862. I found a bill.
Yeah, there are lots of bills. I don't think they had. Hey, John Jacobs. I don't think there's actually Confederate coins, is there? Because they had state coins, didn't they, or something like that. I think the money was pretty much standard, wasn't it? Like a cent, 2 cents, things like that. So
the only one that I was able to find wasn't a coin. It was
a Confederate bill. Do you know? I love one of them. They're really
that was the only thing I could find.
So
I
how
actually
much is
have
that?
I have one of those. You got to watch out too, because you could end up with lots of counterfeits. They even used to put them in cereal boxes.
But they're worth a bit of money now, though, aren't they?
A few bucks. Gee, we used to get when I was a kid, and of course that was a lot closer to the time the Civil War was. But,
Bless you.
well, yeah. Oh, I saw the house shake there. That was amazing. But
The whole of Sweden
yeah,
is shit.
you used to be able to get Confederate money when I was a kid, tons of it. But now it's tough to get it.
Yeah. Listen, bless you. That's so funny. Are we on to the go bit now? Or?
Oh yeah, they're already started.
Oh, cool. Zoe did a video. She did us again. But I've just been given a crunchy.
I was just waiting that bloody hammer to smash that stupid chocolate bar. Hurry up, hit it, will you? For Pete's sake. Because that's we used to have those, but without the chocolate on. It was just sponge.
Oh, do you know what? The mint one's really nice. But yeah, cedar toffee these are made from. I love honeycomb.
1862, the first female students accepted into Mount Allison University in Sackville, New Brunswick. And during that year, the Pacific Northwest suffered a smallpox epidemic, swept through Fort Victoria area and up to the length of the Northwest coast, killing approximately, this is what I was talking to you about, 20,000 First Nations people were killed. That's why, because they were getting the diseases from the settlers.
Yeah. It begs to differ though. Like, you know, you live in a peaceful thing. You know something's going on, and it affects you through disease and people.
Oh, absolutely.
To them, they don't understand what's going on and why. You know. This is quite cool. New Westminster Bridge, designed by Thomas Page, is opened in London. That's right. Last mail coach runs from Carlisle to Harwich, Scotland.
Cool.
That's a long way, that is.
Oh, John Jacobs snuck in here.
Criminal law amended to make robbery with violence punishable by flogging. Now, flogging.
This is in the UK, right?
Yeah. Now, do they flog the stuff that they've robbed?
Oh, would you stop?
Notts County is founded in Nottingham, making it by the 21st century the world's oldest association football playing professionally. My dad played for them.
Well,
I told you the oldest football club, didn't I? Notts County. And then down the road, you got Nottingham Forest, and right between them, the two clubs, you have Clough's Road because he managed both clubs. Brian Clough. So you had Derby County and Notts County, and Notts County. Clough's Road, I think it's called, and his son took over Derby County.
Stop.
And failed miserably.
Okay, what's the first one I got here? Metal detecting NC, May 24th, 1862. The Westminster Bridge. Didn't you just say that? Bridge across the Thames, London opened. Becomes the second such bridge after the earlier bridge fell into decay.
On my one, this is 1862, right? Isn't it?
1862.
by metal detector NC as well, is on the June 7th, 1860, General B. Butler orders William Humford hanged after he removed and destroyed the U.S. flag on display over New Orleans Mint.
Wow.
That's what I got on my screen anyway.
That's pretty drastic.
It is. But, but depends who he was, though. General Bieber orders William Mumford.
That's a pretty stiff penalty for something like that. August 16th, 1862, U.S. President Abraham Lincoln prohibits Union states from trading with the Confederacy. Well, I can understand that. They're at war.
That sort of makes sense. Metal detecting NC Julia Howell publishes Battle Hymn of Republic. Is that right? Battle Hymn?
Battle Hymn of the Republic. Yeah, that's a powerful hymn. Ferret 45, 6th of September, 1862, General Ulysses S. Grant occupies Paducah, Kentucky.
I'm not even going to try. Paducah. And it's strange if things are pronounced not the way you say it. February 25th, 1860, Congress from U.S. Bureau of Engraving and Printing to print newly issued U.S. paper currency in United States notes. Now that's pretty cool. I like getting some numismatic stuff in here.
Yeah, it's nice. February 25th, 1862, first legal tender act is passed by the U.S. Congress authorizing the United States note, the greenback, into circulation, the first fiat paper money that was legal tender in America. Fiat. So there's no gold standard then? I thought there was.
And fiat
isn't attached to the gold.
No, that's right. Did he get that? So later on then it went to the silver standard then. 10th of March 1860, US issued the first paper money in the forms of 5, 10s, 20s, 50s, 100, 500 and 10,000 notes. I suppose, that's pay this war with something, I guess.
Yeah.
Alan W. says George Clark Sargent is the third great grandfather was born. George Clark Sargent is your third great grandfather was born in Boston, Mass. on 5th of April 1846. He lived in Boston until he was 12 years of age, and then he and his family moved to Wakefield, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Metal detecting NC says no, not flat paper money. Oh, so much for crumpling it up into your pocket, huh?
Okay, I'm on with Ferrari 45. 9th of September, Nurse Sally Tompkins is officially commissioned as an officer and is the only officer woman by the Confederate U.S. Army. Yeah, I remember this. Do you know what? Some of this Civil War stuff is coming back because the narrator was talking about it's something like 20 parts of the Civil War on the CBS channel, what we have here. And it was really, really interesting on how in-depth it really was.
LNW, I think, is still talking about her ancestor.
Okay.
The Civil War broke out. According to records, he apparently worked in a drugstore at the time. He enlisted in the Army, August 9th, 1862. I love having the family aspect of this. This is super.
Yeah. February 21st, 1860, slave captain Nathaniel Gordon hanged, the only slave to suffer this fate. The night before his execution, he attempted suicide via cyanide-laced cigars brought by his wife.
Ooh, doggy. Unbelievable.
June the 1st, Alexander II of Russia grants Jews right to publish books.
Okay. 13th September 1862, the first naval battle of the Civil War. The Union frigate Colorado sinks privateer Judah off Pensacola, Florida.
I wonder if they're still finding some of these wrecks down in the
I can guarantee you they are. I hear about it quite often. But to be in salvage, that's an expensive proposition.
Oh yeah. But you're talking. I mean, the shelf of round by the coast of Florida is quite wide, but it drops deep. I mean, it's a very deep.
Oh yeah, it is deep.
So it's not like you can just go down there and view it through a snorkel and a pair of glasses.
No, they get all kinds of equipment, including suction hoses and everything else to get the stuff up.
At the age of 16, into Company the 1st, 20th Volunteer Infantry Regiment, his record accused him of desertion on September the 14th, 1860. But when he was discharged, they cancelled the entry finding. All right, okay, that's pretty interesting. And to be fair, he had been hospitalised and was back on the roll call as from October 31st, 1860. Do you know what? That's the history we enjoy.
It is.
It's family history, and you get like the articles, the facts, and stuff. Ferret
45 wrote 6th of October 1862, revolt of Russian students shuts down the University of Petersburg.
18history.net hanging Captain Gordon. Very interesting article about history led to the slaver Nathaniel Gordon being executed. Yes.
Oh, thanks for sharing that link. That's great.
What I was going to say, there's a really interesting video you can watch, where the very first remembrance filmed for the Confederacy and the US soldiers, where they all get together, and these people met Lincoln when he was young, and people like that, and it's really interesting to hear their voices.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've actually watched.
78 years old, when it was first filmed on the British Pavé channel.
It's funny you're mentioning that, because I just finished watching the documentaries of the Grand Army of the Republic and their reunions.
Yeah.
And right through to the 30s that they were still getting together.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's I think everybody should be honoured when it comes to that not just up from the First War. It should be going right back. The first battle was in 1860 at the age of 60. Oh, his first, but he was a bugle boy. All right, okay. Do you know what? A bugle boy was a really big honour. Is that Antrim, Virginia?
Antietam.
Antietam at Company
or
1.
Antietam. Sorry, Antietam.
Antietam, Virginia, with Company 1 of the Massachusetts Infantry. He was unhurt, but became ill and was sent to Alexandria. All right, okay. Because you'd have gone. Is that right? The wake up call.
February 10th, 1862, the Dutch second government of Thorbecke formed.
Dutch government. Virginia to a convalescent. I know what it is. Convalescent camp on November 18th, 18th, where the general disability and was discharged on the 5th December. That's really, really interesting.
It is. 24th of October, 1862, the first U.S. transcontinental telegram was sent from San Francisco to Washington, D.C.
August 8th, 1860, September 26th, 18, Dakota War of 1862, 409 white settlers were killed. Reports of mass rape, but only 2 were convicted of the crime. That was from Evil Arch Conservative. And then Alan W. continues, obviously. He worked as a shoemaker before enlisting again into Company B, 4th Regiment Mass Cavalry on the 27th, 1860. He was mustered out on the 14th of November, 1865.
Wow.
That's awesome.
18th of January, 1862, the Confederate Territory of Arizona is formed.
Good evening, folks, says Emmanuel's Workbench. Evil Arch Conservative, 26th December, 1862. 30th Dakota Sioux men executed on mass gallows. Oh, my God. The result of a great Sioux uprising that summer. The uprising occurred because the Indian agents didn't provide food, and then it's continued.
Yeah, there you go. Illness and lack of food. No wonder they got pissed.
Right.
Barrett 45, 30th of January, 1862, the USS Monitor, the U.S. Navy's first ironclad warship, is launched.
Yeah, have you ever seen that where it's flat?
I have.
And when the cannonballs were hitting it, the noise was inside was actually deafening the shipmates. It was like a big bow inside because it wasn't like it was like a big bellow inside. It was deafening it's protecting the sailors, okay, but the sailors were becoming deaf.
Oh yeah, you are aware that one of the ironclads was actually still in service during World War I. You can actually find pictures of it sailing by the at that in that stage the modern ships. It looks so weird.
I know there was 2. I know the Monitor was really low to the sea. It was really hard to hit.
Yeah, that was the one I saw. It was really low.
Was it the Turtle? The other one? I can't remember.
I can't remember the name. The Merrimack.
The Merrimack. That sounds right. Congress forms 25th of February 1860. Congress forms U.S. Bureau of Engraving and Printing to print the new U.S. paper currency. The U.S. state notes. Hello, John Jacobs. John J. 8th of March, Confederate ironclad Merrimack launch. Here we go.
The Dakota Sioux execution actually pushed the war between the states off the front page for several days.
We've had that, I think. 10th of March, US first. We have had that one with the 510. That was from earlier.
Yeah.
LNW 19th Regiment under Horace T. Sanders, Private Morrison Stevens enlisted in the infantry. 11th 1860 under Captain John A. Chandler Regiment 19 Company C. Sorry, if you hear me clicking, I'm just going up the thing. Sorry about that, guys.
20th of June, detecting NC, June 20th, 1862, Barbu Katarugiu. Oh, thank you. The Prime Minister of Romania is assassinated.
16th of April, 1860, slavery abolished in District of Columbia.
And so ends 1862. We got a couple other things if you want to read them out.
Okay. January 31st, Albion Graham Clark makes the first observation of Sirius B, a white dwarf star through 18th inches telescope, Northwestern University. With the Sirius A and Sirius B, they're called a binary system. I know that. 20th of April, 1816, the first pasteurization test completed for Frenchman Louis Pasteur and Claude Bernard. Yeah, that's talking about milk, I'm pretty sure.
Hey, Nana.
The War Department gave authority to organise an infantry regiment November 18th century rendezvous at Racine. On the February 23rd, they were abolished, moved camp and ran down Mason muster into the United States. Alan W. is going right through the history there. Alan W.'s put up some links as well, actually.
Yeah, I saw that.
There's lots there. 1816, Cyrus Phillips Jacobs was born on 18th Bridgepoint, Perry County, Pennsylvania. Died on the it's his great grandfather, in fact, John Jacobs. Wow, there's so much going on here.
I guess. I cannot believe
that. Nana's Cooking Craft Corner.
Yeah, I'm actually going to meet Nana. She's coming to Edmonton.
That's really, really cool.
Looking forward to it.
I heard him and all his brothers died in that war.
Wow. Cannot believe we got through there. We're already hitting 1863. 1863 was an interesting time, too. Besides having actual money being printed and produced, they also utilized Civil War tokens for buying groceries and stuff, much like the stamps they used to give out during World War II and the food stamps and whatnot. Well, they did the same there, and that's what one of the tokens looks like during the Civil War. That was issued in 1863. As you can see, it just looks like a regular coin, but it was used for buying groceries, foodstuffs, because it was a tough time. So just a token. But
it was, as we would call it, ration booking or whatever. I mean, it was emergency coinage. Just to get people through,
Yeah. And of course, we still had the traditional, like the Indian head pennies during 1863 that were actually produced, which is
beautiful.
It's actually, that still remains one of my favorites with the U.S. coins.
How far back does your Indian head pennies go?
As who?
Do you
Oh, the first Canadian cent was 1858.
On about your Indian head pennies.
Oh, the Indian head pennies? I forget now. I'd have to look it up. But it's been all through the 1860s. If anybody knows when the first Indian head penny came out, all they have to do is look in the red book, I would think, wherever my red books disappeared to.
The first Indian head penny was 18. Anyway, I know that 1863 wasn't it? 1863.
No, I was showing Indian head cents earlier than that.
Yeah, sorry.
You're going to make me find my book.
Hang on a minute. 1858, I think. 1856.
Yeah. Oh, and Nana, this young gentleman sitting right to my side here, that's Dale. He's with Coin World UK. He's my co-host, and I co-host for him when he does his battle chat.
He does. He helps me. I'm probably more of a hindrance. But no, this is good for me. I love this stream. I absolutely look forward to Mondays and Wednesdays. Nice to meet you too, Nanas.
Yeah, I can't believe we're on 1863 already.
Crazy,
what happened? 1863 in Canada. The U.S. gives notice of intent to abrogate reciprocity.
I told him a bad influence, and I.
Yeah, it's catching. I'm worried.
We'll be talking like an Englishman soon, double Dutch and all that sort of Anglo-Saxon.
And apparently New Brunswick and Nova Scotia was involved in the Chesapeake affair. I didn't know provinces could have affairs, but anyway, that's true. And the Militia Pay Act was enacted for all males between 18 and 60. So the militia actually started getting paid. Not very much.
No. Well, that shows you about the. Oh no, it's probably a bit earlier than that actually.
Go.
Here you go. This is my 1863 halfpenny.
Oh yeah, you show us here. I'll put you on so.
Oh, hello. You've got Britannia there. It's obviously really dark because I just got out of the flip. I have to get some more flips at some point. But it's in better condition than it actually shows you on the camera, unfortunately. I'm sorry the quality, but here we go, just to show you.
Oh, that's what it really looks like.
Yeah. There's always a back at look how much mint is like just close to 16 million on all variants. It's worth about 95p. Not very much. 1863, Broadmoor Criminal Lunatic Asylum at Crowthorne receives its first patients. William Thompson enthroned as Archbishop of York. The Football Association is founded at the Freemasons Tavern in Longacre, London. Just lots about football, really, which is good. HMS Orpheus sinks attempting to enter Manukau Harbour in New Zealand with the loss of 889 lives. Wow. Oh, this is cool. The first section of the London Underground Railway opens to the public, Paddington to Farringdon Street. That's interesting. Alrighty, I'm going to go back up to your go now. Find your go.
Yeah. Here's a treat for you. How about an 1863 Victor Emmanuel gold coin?
Yep, done. When do you want me to send it? I can get these for 95p, so.
Don't mind Italian, especially when it looks like that.
I don't mind any coin, to be honest. It looks like that.
Yeah, no kidding. It's 10 lira.
10 lira.
Yeah. The value today is in US dollars about 362.
That's not bad, really, if you think about that. You've
Yeah.
got the numismatic value, the year, and it's not a reproduction coin either.
No.
There's nothing worse. Do you know what really upsets me when the mint do a reproduction gold coin? Yeah, it looks absolutely lovely. Worth 4 times as much as the original coin. May not be in better shape, but at least you've got no history behind it. And then you can get it for half the price. That's what I would probably go for. You know, because gold is still gold at the end of the day. You know,
yeah.
And you got free. You can collect Italian coins. You can collect war coins, gold, stack gold that way, whatever the case may be. Or do you want to go and get a really lovely looking, beautiful, nice reproduction of the same coin for twice as much?
Mm-hmm.
And there's no comeback value on it either. If you want to go and sell it, you know, like you had to, you know.
Oh, don't remind me.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to. But it's a prime example on the way to collect correctly. You know?
Yeah. I do have 9 new coins coming in. 9.
Yay! I look forward to that then.
But they're, older coins, but
Don't matter, but they're good.
we're doing great here. Boy, oh boy, people are just cruising with it.
This is fun. I love this because it gives us like relax. We go through like the things.
It does. We get everybody a chance to do a little research, and then it's so many variations. And stop.
And stop.
And what do we got here? Starting off with LNW. Continuation of George Clark, 1863. He re-enlisted in Company B of the 4th Massachusetts Cavalry under Colonel Arnold Rand with the 2nd Battalion of this regiment. He was sent to Florida and did patrol duty at Jacksonville, was in the Battle of Gainesville on the 17th of August.
That was a big battle, that was. The first was 1863. Incompatate. Do you know what? I know that word.
Emancipation?
Emancipation proclamation issued by Abraham Lincoln to free slaves in U.S. Confederate States. Do you know how frustrating that is? I know what the word is, and I can't. My brain will not let me.
You're doing fine. We'll work together. We'll get through it. 4th of January, 1863, 4-wheeled roller skates are patented by James Clifton of New York.
I love roller skates.
Look at that. The roller skates are showing.
10th of January, 1863, the first underground railway opens in London. Well, it's the first line, really. It's not all of it.
Private Morrison Stevens Company was then ordered to go to Suffolk to the extreme advance of the Union lines, where they arrived the next morning and by afternoon marched and encamped in Jericho Creek. Wow, you got a lot of detail. Some were assigned duty on rifle pits and corduroy roads. Anybody know what a corduroy road? I know what a corduroy road is. I built them. On the 17th of June, arrived in Norfolk the next day, embarking for Yorkton and encamped near the fortifications.
Corduroy roads. Now,
okay.
Let me think of this. Now, I'm going to be probably wrong, and I'm going to make a fool of myself. But is that type of roads that are grooved?
Well, they're groovy, all right. Not in the 1960s sense, but you know what corduroy looks like with the little dumps all through it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Corduroy roads are typically built through swampier areas, wet ground, and you lay the logs down across the road, and you build the road, and as the logs sink, you throw another layer of logs on it, and you keep doing that until they settle. And what it is, it's very bumpy, but it's a log road.
Yeah. Because obviously, look at corduroy as a material. As I said, it's like elongated.
Yeah, that's why when you said groovy, it would constitute being pretty groovy.
I didn't know how they were made, but I sort of had a guess.
I built 20 miles of corduroy road south of Tobermory in the Bruce Peninsula.
Man, that must have been a...
It was great. Oh, my goodness. And rattlesnake is good eating.
Rather than me, brother. Like it.
They should have told us about the DDT, though. I don't know why I'm still here.
Some were assigned to rifle. You said that one, didn't you? January 1863, uprising begins in Poland.
Oh.
That's from Ferrari P45.
Yeah. 12th of January, 1863, President Davis delivers his State of Confederacy address. He asked to copy the bloody North doing state of the address.
Proceedings at River West Point on the 21st. They remained until the 8th. Man, he's got everything there. Returned to Yorktown Garrison duty in the middle of August, then to Newport until October the 8th when they were embarked in New Bern, North Carolina, arrive in October 11th for the outposts of their picket. You said that.
Wow.
That's a lot of interest. Do you know what? General Swolowski, appointed director of dictator of Poland. Sorry. Oh, we don't want thinking dictatorship now, do we?
Wow. 3rd of February, 1863, Samuel Clemens first uses the pen name Mark Twain in a Virginia city newspaper, the Territorial Enterprise. Where do you think he got the name Mark Twain from? Samuel Clemens. How did he get the name Mark Twain?
Now you put me on the spot here. I don't know. I can't. I should know it, but I just can't think of it on the spot.
It's measuring the depth. Oh, I'm glad I can think Navy here. It's measuring the depth of the river. And when they throw the weight in with the cord and they got knots in it, and you hit Mark Twain.
Oh, okay. That's where you get the speed from as well, I guess. But do you know, I never even... Man, I should know that.
Hey, that's what we're here for, to share. Sharing's caring.
So my husband loves military history. That's pretty interesting. Morrison Company was in the barracks defending the south side on the River Trent. The Trent River. Sorry, we do have a River Trent here. On the Trent River on February the 1st, 1864. The 26th of February, 1860, Abraham Lincoln signs National Currency Act, established a single national U.S. currency.
He had to do it. There's too much counterfeiting going on.
Yes. Shake coin. My grandma would be.
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
Do you know what? I miss skating. Skateboarding was my thing when I was a kid, though. My brother was brilliant on skates. U.S. Congress authorizes track width of 4 inches, 8.5.
No, it's 4 foot 8.5 inches
for the Union Pacific Railroad.
So is that going from the narrow gauge to the wider gauge?
That's going to the wider gauge.
Yeah, I thought so because they used the narrow gauge before then.
Yeah, that's to obviously accompany heavier cannons and stuff like that. So
yeah.
Obviously, the smaller gauge lines would never have tipped.
AAC says August 26, 1863, my great-great-grandmother, Emily Hurst Malloy, was born and died in 1932. It was on Dad's side.
Wow. There's so much family history here. That's really, really cool. Firstly, June, this is by Evil Arts. 1st of June, 1860, Harriet Tubman leads a Union military mission which freed 700 slaves. Fair play.
LNW says Grant was appointed lieutenant. That's my English coming through.
Yeah, lieutenant.
Grant was appointed lieutenant general in March 1864 and was entrusted with command of all the U.S. armies. His basic plan for the 1864 campaign was to immobilize the army of General Robert E. Lee near the Confederate capital.
Thing is, with General Lee, if I remember rightly, he didn't graduate West Point in a high capacity like his peers. I think that's correct anyway. I know, what's his name? Custer wasn't highly recommended as a leader. Too arrogant, apparently.
Oh, arrogant and flamboyant. Flashy hats.
I think it's his brother, Thomas Custer, is the one who had 2 Medals of Valor or Congressional Medal of Honor, I think. He's one of a very small club with 2. Is it Medals of Honor? Is it Congressional authorities of U.S. Mint at Carson City, Nevada. That was from Ferrari P45.
Got it.
August the 1st, Frederick Bayer founds the chemical manufacturing company Bayer at Barmen, in Germany. That's from Evil Arch Conservative.
Bear aspirin. Ferret says 3rd of March, 1863, the Idaho Territory forms. Potato land.
Potatoes. Must be a lot of Irish around there then. 1863, James James Caleb Jackson invented the first breakfast cereal, granola. It soaked overnight in order to chew it. I love granola.
But not to have to soak it overnight just so you can chew it. Can you imagine? Blech.
I do not like granola in any form apart from it's dry. No,
I don't mind Quaker oats and stuff, but stuff like Mueslix is no. No. What do we got here? 1863, Vin Marini, wine with cocaine, introduced, drank by Pope Leo's the 13th and Pius the 10th, and President Grant. Pope Leo the 13th was featured in an ad for the wine. He awarded the wine a Vatican gold medal. Wine with cocaine, bunch of stone priests in Vatican City.
The 1st of April, 1860, the first wartime conscription law in US goes into effect.
Wow.
Really? Running out of men.
Yeah. Holy cow.
November 9th, 1860, Ford's Theatre, John Wilkes Booth, one of the first leading men to appear there. Playing in Charles Selby's The Marble Heart, Lincoln saw the performance. Look at that.
Now think about that. Lincoln had already watched John Wilkes Booth perform.
Yeah. And another little, I don't know if this is true. I think it was John Wilkes Booth's brother saved Lincoln's life. I think he was almost to fall off a train at some point when it went to leave the station, and his brother, Wilkes Booth's brother, John Wilkes Booth's brother, grabbed Abraham Lincoln.
LNW, I am Scottish, Irish, Welsh, Danish, and Iberian, and 1% French. So you can see the Roman soldier having his way all the way across Europe.
You're not English then?
Originally it came up as English, but then it came up Scottish after more people joined in the DNA thing.
Oh, okay. So when the Romans came in, obviously the Romans pushed all the English into Wales, all the Celts and all that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So that's probably you're probably true English.
Oh, very, very true.
Not us English. I'm true. We're a bit of everything, but the Welsh is the true English.
Yeah. So I'm surprised to see all that Welsh in there and Scottish. Where the heck did that come from? I'm 24% Irish, a lot less, and 40-something Scottish. What? Well,
the Scottish went over to the Celts, didn't they? Celtics. That's what they speak Gaelic in Gaelic.
Yeah. And of course, my family came to Canada in 1845 from Dublin.
So there you go. You got your ancestry there, and then so technically you're not Canadian then.
No, I told you I'm Heinz 57.
57. He came with a can opener.
And we're talking, hey, we're on 1864. We're on 1864. Do I have a nice sample of 1864?
I do.
Oh, well, show us an 1864.
Okay, you ready for this? Oh, upside down. My bad. Sorry, Lady Liberty. $1864, Philadelphia, Indian head penny, or 1 cent coin.
Aha, he has one.
Scrapping! How's it going?
I have an 1864 2 cent.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, dear. You beat me by 1 cent.
I know. I have, that's proof I have a little bit more sense than you.
You are, yes. You do indeed. You're the wisest of us two.
Yeah, it's a nice looking coin.
That's a beautiful
1864. Cannot believe that. Wow.
There he is, Mr. Scrapping. Do you know what? I was in Scrapping stream the other night. I must confess, and I'm so sorry about this. I was so tired. I was in Scrapping Order and Tinkering's stream, and I think this was on Thursday, and I fell asleep in the stream. I'm so sorry.
You fell asleep in the stream?
Until I woke up, and the stream is obviously ended. And it was just there, just me in the chat. It's like, oh, this is so embarrassing.
That's hysterical. I'm sorry, but I was so highly motivated, I took a nap. Good gravy.
But I mean, it was like, must have been about 2:30 when it started for me. At least I managed to say hello to him and many others, and I was just like, I just couldn't. I just woke up. Oh no!
Yeah,
it seemed like a minute. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, it's like, God, thinking 8 o'clock.
that's a hoot. Yeah,
at least I'm honest.
True. Here's a little known fact about 1864. In 1864. And during the Civil War, the North and South actually met for negotiations in New York, New York. They actually had a delegation that sat down across the table to try to iron things out.
Yeah. Get it
sorted. How did that work out, huh?
Well, that carried on, didn't it?
Sorry, not New York. I'm incorrect. It's Niagara Falls, New York. That they
Niagara Falls, New York.
Niagara Falls, New York.
So is that where they tried to determine the actual border itself?
Niagara Falls? I hope not. That's where they threw the guys over the falls if they didn't agree with them, I guess. I don't know. 1864, we had the St. Albans raid that happened in Canada, and the Quebec Conference took place, which was trying to get resolutions through for the British North American Act, the BNA Act, which was in force right up to the time that we finally got it back from Great Britain and we started our Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
Yes. Which should be right too, I think. Should be a republic.
We're just about ready to start with the chat here.
And yeah, I agree with you there, Scrapping, sir. It's like it's worse when you fall asleep during your own stream.
It happens. Hard to believe, but it happens.
You know what? I got a perfect picture of Stacks, right? Because you stream all the time. And he was in his stream and he was asleep, waiting for people to come in. And he didn't know I was in there, and I took a screenshot of him. Sent it to him. He was like this. He thought he'd catch 40 winks before the stream starts. What have we got in? Right, Giuseppe Garibaldi visits England in 1864, ending the second. This is May to June, ending the Second Anglo-Ashanti War. Overarm bowling is legalized in cricket.
What? Because underhanded wasn't kosher? You had to do overhand?
Yeah, overhand, yeah. And you got the two lines on the wickets. Both feet must hit the lines. So you got the back line and you got the forward line before you let the ball go. So in the rule of cricket, I can't stand watching cricket, but I used to play it in the team at school. When you bowl, your back foot has to hit the back line and your front foot has to hit the front line before you release the ball. Otherwise, it's unnoble. I think you've been over this bridge. The Clifton Suspension Bridge across the Bristol Avon is designed by Isambard Kingdom Brunel and completed in memorial of him that opens to traffic.
May have been. I was on the bus. I didn't have to watch where we were going.
Did you know there was a woman who jumped off the Clifton Suspension to commit suicide because her husband had an affair? But because she had those skirts, those looked like parachutes, she actually parachuted down and survived.
Wow.
True story. She had those thinking corset skirts, like you want to call them, those big things. And they were like wired, weren't they?
Yeah, the giant hoop skirts.
Yeah, like that. And as she jumped off, she parachuted.
She became a parachute.
Yeah. She survived. I mean, that's a huge drop. People don't realize how big that drop is, that gorge. But yeah, it's huge.
Well, go figure.
It's like loads of if you actually walk across it and you can actually see the slabs, what people has done throughout the years on it. It's actually really interesting. There we go. That's the Clifton Suspension Bridge. That's what it's talking about. And if you go up to these walls here, if you go around through the walkways, you can actually, there's loads of history written on the walls, on either side of the pillars, on that side and that side. But yeah, it's
oh wow. No, the myself and my buddy Bill, we're both, as you know, bus drivers at the time. And we made sure we sat at the very back of the bus because the bus driver we had was the most skilled driver I've ever seen in my life. He scared the living daylights out of us. We said, no flipping way could we drive in this country. Now, we're professional drivers now.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my buses I used to drive was a 60-foot articulated bus. The bendy buses.
Bendy buses.
Right? I used to drive those. A trolley. I drove trolley. All kinds of buses. But this guy, he did stuff I couldn't even dream of doing. He was insane, and he was great at it. But there's no way I could. So I couldn't look out the front. I'd look out the side window and go, okay. Is he done yet? Oh, my God. He's going to hit that guy's mirror. Nope. Oh, he missed it. How did he miss it? You know.
I used to drive a lorry many years ago for a construction company, but it was like tipper. And my I had to park it on my brother's girlfriend's driveway at the time, and I parked it perfectly on the driveway. But the next day, obviously, I'd gone to work, and I was at college, and I worked for this construction company with my uncle.
Stop.
And she got a brand new car, reversed it onto the driveway, smashed into the wall. Because how has Dale managed to park a lorry on here? But I can't park a car on my own driveway, which I've lived there like 40 years. Smashed straight into the wall.
Wow. Who do we got to start off with? Oh, LNW. George Clark, 1864 at Black Creek, September 3rd in the engagement at Baldwin the next month and remained in Florida until the close of the war. Okay.
He carries on with the battalion, then joined its regiment at Richmond, where the pre-formed provost duty. What's provost duty? There's also Standardsville at Charlottesville in October. So what's provost duty?
No, it's Provo, military police.
Oh, military police. Okay.
Scrap at Horton Tinker and Fun says, "Go where?" Guess they don't know the rules of the game, do they? Ferret 45, 11th of January, 1864, Charing Crossing. Charing Crossing, is that on Monopoly? Charing Cross Railway Station in London opens.
No, it's not. Us a part of the underground. Morrison's company was in the barracks defending the south side of the Trent River. The February 1864, the enemy made an attack on Newburn. The assault of defences south of the Trent River was successfully repulsed, or they retreated. On the April 26th, the regiment left Newburn, Yorktown, Virginia, arriving on the 28th and leaving on the 4th of May, where they proceeded to James Riverworth. The 18th Army Corps, commanded by General Butler. The
details are blowing me away here. Ferret says 15th of February 1864, fire in Rotterdam damages Museum Bogemans van Beuningen. I take it that's a Dutch museum that just burnt.
I'm glad I didn't have that one. Be here for another week. On the 6th to the 9th, they were building fortifications when they took part in the movement to Warhol Junction in Richmond and Petersburg Railroad, destroying 3 miles of track. 5th of May, this is from the first track meet between Oxford and Cambridge. Yeah.
Oh, first track meet.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Between the two universities. Obviously, you had the boat race, you had the track meet. I believe that's where Roger Bannister, not that particular year, but that's where Roger Bannister against the Cambridge, he done the 4-minute mile.
Yeah.
That was later on, though. That wasn't obviously this time.
LNW writes on the 12th, Private Morrison was sent forth to skirmishers covering the 3rd Brigade at Fort Darling. 6 men were wounded in a charge upon a position occupied by rebel sharpshooters. Wow, that's incredible detail.
That's a lot of detail. 9th of March 1864, Ulysses S. Grant is appointed commander of the Union Army. He was a good commander.
14th, an advance was made. The enemy's first line was successfully carried and had 5 men wounded.
The 10th of 1864, Austrian Archduke Maximilian becomes Maximilian I, Emperor of Mexico.
Popular position.
Oh.
On May the 16th, the enemy massed forces and, taking advantage of the dense fog, made a furious attack on the advanced line until it was driven back. What do you have a war diary in front of you, LNW? Holy mackerel.
He's got Colonel Sanders took command of the Centre Brigade to support Ashbury batteries on the Pike. Now, Colonel Sanders, wasn't he like... It wasn't really...
All right, don't mix him up with chicken fame. No, wrong Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, he wasn't even a colonel, was he?
He wasn't a colonel. Popcorn had more colonel than he did.
I was going to say a peach.
Perhaps says 30th of April, 1864, New York becomes the first state to charge a hunting license fee.
Every horse in the battery was soon killed, and the enemy wounded succeeded at the last catch, and then it retired to a strip of woods at the rear and formed a new line. With the right resting on the pike near the halfway house under severe fire from the enemy. So we're to Ferrari right now.
Yeah, 3rd of June, 1864, General Robert E. Lee wins his last victory of the Civil War for the Confederates at the Battle of Cold Harbor.
We got a Cold Harbor pub in up just the road. 7th of June, 1864, Abraham Lincoln's re-nominated for the presidency by the Republican Party. And EAC says May 26, 1864, territory of Montana established. And then I've got stop, but there's been a couple after that. Because
go ahead. We'll finish up those ones too.
22nd of August, 1864, the first Geneva Convention adopted a Geneva for the amelioration of the conditions of the wounded and the enemies in the field, signed by 12 nations. The 12th of June, 1864, Lucy Ann Seton is the first burial in Crown Hill Cemetery. Her husband, Captain John Seton, had placed an ad in the local asking for mourners as they were new in town. Continued, the original story I was told, 50K showed up for the burial of Lucy Ann Seton. Wow. This was what it says on the back of the grandmother's Morrison Stevens died April 8th, the Civil War casualty, about 32 to I don't know if it's YO or 2 taken from the tintype. Evil Arts Conservatory continues with November 25th, 1864. J.W. Booth appears for the only time with his brothers on stage performance to raise funds for Shakespeare's statue in the Central Park. Not sure who had wrote that. Tintype was made from gunpowder and had a mirror image. The first burial of Crown Hill, Indianapolis, 200 mourners on the DK was originally told. Wow.
Guys, that was really a good session.
18th, Lucy Ann Seton and her husband, John Seton, arrived in Indianapolis a few weeks before her death. Thus, her husband's plea for mourners.
Mm-hmm.
That's from the Genegraphia Gopher.
Wow.
Thank you, everybody, for that. It was really, really interesting, and appreciate that. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, and all those that participated did very, very well. Top one for answers was our friend Farrah, 48. Okay, then we got EAC with 37 and LNW with 43. And squeaking in the 4th place, metal detecting NC. And even Maya got one, which was kind of cool. So the top 3, of course, Ferrip, EAC, LNW, and then EAC, which is pretty fantastic, guys. And that gives me a chance to bring out my magic bucket again.
I'll have to get some things for you. If you want me to. If there's some English people that come in and do some stuff, I'll send it stuff from this.
Sure. I think I still have some English stuff in there.
I'll have to send you some bits to go into your bucket.
So we're talking Ferret is first. So Ferret, we're gonna get you first. Ferret is oh my goodness. What did you get, Ferret?
Okay.
Oh my goodness. You got a 2006 Kennedy.
Oh, nice. That's NIFC.
That's a pretty one, boy. That's
Ferris,
pretty one.
English.
Massive spider in the toilet.
I've got to get out of it.
So Ferret gets that.
Yeah, I can get it.
Are there any other really good ones in here? Well, the next one that's going on here is LNW. LNW gets a 2007 Canadian Olympic. It's the Vancouver Olympic quarter, Canadian quarter.
Oh, that's nice. A ski jump. Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
That's a nice one. A nice commemorative.
That's a beautiful coin, that is.
Got that one. And the next poison is EAC, Evil Arts Conservative. Gee, maybe I'll pull a bus token out of here. EAC's always on a bus.
Bus pass.
Come on, get out of there. Oh. What do we got here?
Well, what did he have here? Just dropped it.
It looks like it's out of a mint roll. Where's my magnifying glass here? Wow, that's a nice shape. Oh, and she's going, what is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? It's a 1981 US dime.
Oh, Rosie.
And it's in good shape. That's a beautiful dime for an 81. That's like right out of the roll.
That is beautiful. Is that an S mint mark?
On
the reverse.
I'm going to guess. Hold on, let me see if I can see the mint mark on there.
If I remember right, it's on the reverse, isn't it? No,
hello, give me some light.
Let there be light.
I think it's a P. Yeah, it's a P. No, wait a minute. Why is there a P? Yeah, it says P on there, but I didn't think Philadelphia put a mint mark.
Yeah, they do sometimes. Depends on the year. So yeah, that's going to be from a mint roll. Mint.
That's a pretty one, and those are.
I'm saying that's going to be a mint strike.
Those are our pretty coins for today. Okay, and bring us back so that we're together again.
I was looking through some of my other I was looking through some of my bags of World coins I got, and I have in here, and I didn't even know, right? Because obviously I'm doing some. I got a 72p $half, and I found a 1968 $half, which is 40% silver.
Mm-hmm.
And 2018, which is an NIFC $half. So yeah, I found a bag of World coins. That's what I'm using at the moment to go through my World coins. And is Canadian cents, 1976 onwards, 1995. Wheat cents, 1958D, loads of Canadians, British coins, British pennies. So cool.
Hey, Dale, he's trying to be a smart aleck. Go ahead, say the name.
Sagia Coke. I don't know. Skagiuk.
Yeah, it's always nice to see what's going to come out of that bucket.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty awesome. I bought just a bag of coins ages ago, and I never looked at them. I got loads to go through. 1952, I think that's. I bought a massive, huge bag of coins ages and ages ago. And
I was so excited about getting into the 1860s, and when I pulled my albums out and I looked and going, no, I don't have anything until 1870.
Oh man, you got another 2 more streams to go yet then.
Yeah, it's like, what the heck here? It's because Canada didn't start producing their coinage until they were actually relying on the British to do it for the longest while until we opened up the Royal Canadian Mint.
When did your currency start?
When did which?
Your paper money start?
My paper money.
Yeah.
I don't collect a lot of paper money, so I couldn't tell you the exact date. I'd have to look it up. You're making me look things up.
Sorry, Skipper.
No, don't worry about it. Hold on, I got a book.
Okay.
I got a book.
Where's my book?
Where's my book? Oh.
The thing is, Heath, right? I could read really, really well, and reading's not an issue. I had a lot of trauma, and it triggered something in my brain that has stopped me from reading, writing. Oh, whoa, paper money! Look at that. So yeah, it's. I find this is like exercise for me because I should have actually been paying attention to the Church of England, I guess too. But yeah, it's because if you don't use it, you lose it, right?
That's true. Just remember the most important thing about the hobby is there's no way you can remember it all, but have the reference material.
Most of the Saxons are mine, I think, actually. Yeah, I would have read that 10 years ago. It would have been all right. Wouldn't have been a problem. That's why I'm not legally allowed to do forms, fill out forms, write forms out, even allowed to fill out. I mean, my medication is all done automatically because I end up writing my birth date where the signature is, or I write some kind of weird sentence out without me realizing it. And I'm thinking, why am I doing that? The thing is, the worst thing about I'm doing it, I just can't stop it. And the only thing you got to do is just laugh at yourself, isn't it? It's just think, what an idiot. That's the only way you can do it. Dimebag, Mr. Dimebag.
It's interesting. The provinces actually issued treasury notes dating back to the 1860s.
Wow.
I see stuff from Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island. And
is that state notes?
The province of Canada produced a banknote in 1866.
Next stream then. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to do that. No, thank you for breaking it down.
Yeah, 1866 seems to be the first year when we're issuing our own currency. The province of Canada. And of course, we even had fractional issues like the shin plasters and stuff like that, all kinds of weird and wonderful things. The Dominion of Canada. So that would have to be after 1867. It is.
I'm going to have to look for some of them. I think they have to go into my little book.
1878, 1878, 1887, 1882, oh, there we go. Dominion of Canada, 1870. All right, the Dominion of Canada. You're looking at 1866. Right at the time, just before we got into Confederation. So 1867 was our Confederation. So that's when we started looking at producing our own banknotes. And we have an answer now.
Well, you always answer your own question as well. So your paper money come out before your normal denomination coins.
Yeah, well, you got to remember too that the coins were originally done in England.
Yeah,
and it wasn't until it was established, and it was still part of the Royal Mint in Ottawa, and then it was handed over to the Canadian government, and we had the mint in Ottawa, and then eventually we opened up the mint in Winnipeg. Ottawa is now strictly for collectors and the higher grade coins, and Winnipeg is circulation coins.
So you, like the Americans, are like we have BU, which is brilliant and circulated, and we have circulated. They call theirs business like, and obviously mint and proof. Is that the same case in Canada? Where
of course we if you're talking grades, you can start looking at it that way. But as far as the strikes, we have proofs. The proofs are the highest quality coin we have. We have both the regular proof and reverse proof, and then we have the specimen coins. And to note the difference, the proof coins have part of it is frosted. So you can always tell the proof coin in Canada, the newer ones, is you have the frosting either on the, say we're looking at the obverse, the queen will be frosted. That's a normal proof coin. But if the queen is shiny and the background is frosted, that's a reverse proof.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Then we have the specimen, which is a higher quality, multiple strikes on those.
Yeah, it's about
and
4 strikes,
very shiny. Those are the next level of coin, and then of course you have your circulated coins after that. So,
but even your circulated coins look like they're BU coins.
Especially if you can catch them early enough, or you get them or right out of the roll, they look absolutely gorgeous. They even sell the coins, all the denominations of coins in box sets that you can purchase for rolls. I have one here where you actually have in fact I'll show it to you. Gives me a reason to move these old bones.
And everyone in our family thinks that we came from the previous name of Yorkshire, and that was William the Conqueror had conquered it. William the Conqueror conquered the whole of England in 1066. So Anglo-Saxon, last Anglo-Saxon king would have been Harold. He was obviously killed by an arrow, allegedly anyway, in the eye, and mutilated. His wife had to... There's a marker in Hastings where Harold was found. Not necessarily killed, but where he was found. And he was identified by his wife at the time. But he had a brutal death. He had a really, really disgusting death against William's men. But in 1066, it was in battle. In a place in Hastings, there's a place called Battle, why it's called the Battle of Hastings. And Yorkshire, Harold, before the Battle of Hastings, Harold was seeing off the Vikings up in Yorkshire, and I can't remember the other place. Oh man, what's the place called? But he travelled 2 months to get down to Battle of Hastings, not the Battle of Hastings. A place called Battle. That's what people think. The Battle of Hastings was the Battle of Hastings, but it's actually a little town called Battle, and it was in Hastings. So yeah, it'd have been
okay.
But if you can date back your family till then, then that'll be. Oh, look at that! Oh wow!
And that's
sort of recent order you had, wasn't it?
That's one. No, this is 2020 or 2020. Yeah, 2020. This is 2021s. I haven't ordered the 2022s yet. But yeah, they sell the whole set, and those are all specimens.
Yeah. but they are absolutely a beautiful set. That is.
Yeah. So they actually you're buying complete rolls, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of collectors do that. I mean, it's a little bit different.
Those, do you know what? Canada produces some amazing coins, nicest looking coins. But I mean, I like the colorized ones. The Isle of Man produces amazing looking coins. I think we don't produce amazing looking coins. We go on stupid little themes like children's books and things like that.
Paddington Bear.
But I don't think it's relevant, to be honest. It's, I know it's a thing for a lot of people, but what I don't like what the Royal Mint does is that they stop the circulation coins and then they only have it in proof sets or mint sets, and then sell them off to other companies, and then you're paying 5 times as much for them, and then a lot of people then don't have control because the Royal Mint will say you can only have 1 per family or 2 per family or 2 per household, whatever. But then they sell loads off to all these offset companies, and you can buy as many as you like until they run out. And then they sell them online for 5 times as much.
Like the Bradford exchange, where you could
like
actually
Bradford
buy all the American Silver Eagles. You're paying 2-3 times what it's worth.
Yes.
And they're not even in that great a shape. They say they're graded, but they're not graded. There's
no.
The one thing people, especially new collectors, still don't understand. There are lots of grading companies out there, but you never ever settle for the lower tier. You want the upper tier grading companies, guys like PCGS or NGC.
They're the best to go to company. If you want to pay for a grade, pay for that. Then for your heart of hearts that you got something that it could be scanned.
Exactly.
And I did a video a while ago with Danbury Mint, and they were doing typeset kind of thing, but they had Morgan dollar as $1, some 50 cent. I can't remember what the video. I can't remember all the coins, but it doesn't matter. It said, "Oh, these coins could be varied, but they are all graded." Okay, It doesn't tell you the grade, but is it fair for you to get an, I don't know, for example, 1881 Carson City Morgan dollar? Oh, sorry, it was a Morgan dollar, a peace dollar, and it went down the list to a 1909 cent. Okay, which is fine. But the fact is it fair that you're paying the same amount of money and I can get, I don't know, say whatever the Morgans are, right? Whatever date it is, but it could be a Philadelphia Mint coin. And the next person next to me can order the same set, but they can get a lower mintage and a higher respected, like Carson City Morgan, for the same price. And this is the problem. And when I called them, I goes, "What coins will I get?" And they said, "We can't actually guarantee the coins because it's when they come in." So could they be buying these off eBay? Could they be buying these coins off somewhere else? And then stick them into these little plastic slabs that don't mean anything, put them into a nice little box and thinking, I've got a... But when you go and sell it, that person goes, "Well, those coins are naff." You know what I mean? So this is a really, really bad deal.
There's tons. They don't even necessarily have to be silver. I mean, no, and I'm always picking on Bradford Exchange because a lot of the products they come out are very good, but the coins they've got me miffed, and they're actually the ones that got me starting to collect. They would promise you a beautiful case, and they would send you 1 coin a month. Now as you know, I'm a monarchist, so I like collecting stuff with the royalty.
Yeah.
Anyway, here I've got these gold crowns. They're gold plated, That's all they are. They're gold plated with a nice little picture on them.
Yeah.
And they were costing me something like $45 a piece. And they're clad. They're just clad gold with a picture of the Queen. I did another one that was with the D-Day invasion. Of course, I have a military theme for my displays. But by the time you figure out the costs, and there's like a dozen of them in a collection at $40 a piece or $45 a piece, holy cow, you'll never recover that money. Yeah, it's like $400 or more to get it. I sold one set. I took a $300 loss. I sold it for $100. I have two more. I've got one with the Monarchs and one with the D-Day. They're the only ones I'll keep. I'll never, ever, ever buy from Bradford Exchange for coins ever again.
Bradford,
they come back and they notice. They says, "You're not buying any coins anymore."
Yeah.
I said, "No, I'm not, because I discovered what the stuff you're doing as cheap clad coins. They're not worth it. Well, we're going to put you on a special offer. We'll sell you real silver coins." So they sent me a list. They showed me you can get the complete set of all the American Silver Eagles. And it was, again, a ridiculous price for them. And they says, "Oh, and they're graded. They're graded by their graders." And it's in their slabs.
Yeah. Doesn't mean anything.
And I got one of them. I actually bought into one of them. I looked at it. I showed it to the guys at the Numismatic Society, and he goes, "Man, they're ripping you off. That's junk." So I sent it back along with the box. It says, "You can keep this. I do not want it. And do not bother me ever again, because
terrible company.
It's junk."
If you ever buy them from the London Mint and the London Mint office, it's the London Mint office is the more prestigious one rather than the London Mint.
Mm.
They just use a namesake because that's where the coins were minted. Bradford Exchange over here has the same problem. As I said in the video, with Danbury Mint as well. They were going, "Oh, this is a special offer," but if you read the insert of the postage, now it says each coin will come every 2 months at the cost of $4.99. But they said each coin at $4.99, even though they're posting 2 coins a month, every other month. They're going for each coin, so they're charging almost £9 for postage for 2 coins, which only cost £3.20 in a package.
Whoa!
So that's another thing. And don't forget, there's like 10 coins. This is only part one. I think it was 10 coins in the other, and then 10 coins in the second box. And I called them and I told them what a rip-off this was. They said, "It is graded." I goes, "Are they graded by NGC or PCGS?" "No, they've got their own graders." I said, "Well, that doesn't mean anything. You are going to say for your own company that they are high grades. So you're not actually physically saying in your certificate of authenticity what grades they are, where I can then go and take that and then take it to a professional grading company and say this." But with those clad coins, those token coins, whatever you want to call them, you're paying for the artwork, and that's the only way they get around this thing. You said you're paying for the artwork, and there was a guy, and it's such a sad story. He bought a gold coin from the Bradford Exchange, and he thought, "I'll buy into that, give it to my granddaughter for when she's older as a keepsake, inheritance." I can't remember what it's called now, but and he had it like 20 years and or 10, 15 years or however long they've been going, right? And he thought, "I know, there's a lovely set." He was offered his set, okay, and he bought a whole set of these commemorative coins. Yeah, then he bought another set, and he was going, "This is getting a bit expensive, I can't keep forwarding all this." And he took his coins. You can go into Coin News magazine, and there's lots of graders that will come out and assess your because they're BNT registered, and they will come out and they will assess your collection. And he thought, I must have lots of money here. He told him straight, he goes, your collection's junk. How much did you pay for this? And he had every receipt. He went through it with every piece of paper he had, so he can give it to his daughter, his granddaughter, when she's younger, to have as a college or university things. You can sell it, inheritance. That's what it's called. That's what I was trying to figure out. And his whole collection, minus his gold coin, one gold coin he had, was worth from about £15. And they phoned him up and they said that he didn't understand numismatics. He didn't understand coin collecting very well. He just thought he was buying into these things that his daughter then can gather up. And they said, you never make money on these. You're only paying for the artwork. And the BNTA made him take them all back.
Mm-hmm.
And they luckily he got all his money back. But he had them. Then he had them for years. I can't remember how long. You remember that? You showed me, didn't you, babe?
Yeah.
It's on YouTube. You can actually see it on YouTube. With this guy, with this grader, and it says worth about 25 quid. His whole collection, and he had hundreds of these coins. These commemorative, not worth anything. It's a shame, really. I mean, if there's something I do like, and it is a clad coin, I know about it. If it's a piece of artwork and it's something I like, I'll buy it because it is what it is. You know what it is. But if you're being talked into this on a glossy piece of paper, phone them or get somebody else's opinion first.
Mm-hmm.
Because
exactly.
it's a serious deal, and it can off-put a lot of people who can really enjoy this collection, collecting these amazing coins, history from around the world, and everybody has the same issue everywhere. They think, oh, that must be a decent company, it's big and all that. Yeah, it may be big, but they're out to look for their sales and they don't care about the customer services. They're terrible.
Yeah, I know.
But I wouldn't, it's a shame that people do get put off on this amazing.
And it does put them off, and a lot of them that would be potential collectors end up walking away.
Yes, exactly.
So it's not a good thing. That's why it's so important to encourage people to associate with other collectors, get involved in actual coin clubs that are legit. If they happen to be handy, there's ways to avoid being discouraged in the hobby, and I'm afraid people or companies like Bradford are not good for the hobby at all.
No.
So
Zoe bought me a coin. It was the last coin. They said it's the last round £1 coin, and when our last round £1 coins went out of circulation in 2015, the territories still carried on until the February 2016, and they were slowly being phased out. And so they went on longer than that. And what they did, of course, it was to do with the London Mint office, not the London. The London Mint, not the London Mint office. So you have to be very careful about that. They do use. Zoe bought this out in good faith for a Christmas present for me. I still got the coin. I still love it. Don't get me wrong, because it's a gift from Zoe. And I looked at his Isle of Man coin, the £1 coin, and the problem was they gold plated it. Put it into a capsule, and it was still a circulated condition coin that Zoe overpaid for, thinking that was the last one.
Oh no!
And they even got the name wrong on the certificate.
No. Oh man.
Yeah, they got the name wrong on the certificate, and I phoned them and I said, "Look, this is absolutely." I goes. I think it was like Arthur Mackin. They got it on there. It's actually Arnold Mackin.
Mm-hmm.
I goes, you can't even spell the name right for the engraver. Right? I goes, these coins are still circulated coins in the Isle of Man. So how are you saying that this? I goes, this is completely false advertising.
It's just a rip-off.
It was a massive, huge rip-off. So you have to be not the London Mint, it's the London Mint office. So yeah, you have to be very careful those two names. As you said, it's very terrible for. And when you buy into these deals, let's call them deals, be careful because they will not stop sending you stuff.
Constant. It's constant. It takes ages for them to stop sending you stuff.
Yeah,
it's just terrible.
Make sure that you get your if you are after a certain collection for any reason and you do want it, I'm not saying not do it, but if you do want it, make sure there is a cutoff point.
Yeah,
and make sure that
it's good advice. Really good advice.
Yeah.
I have to step in now because I have company that's just shown up at the house.
No problem.
So I'm gonna have to say my farewells. I really enjoyed today. As always, I thoroughly enjoy hanging out with you.
Oh, I do the same.
So we're on for Wednesday.
Yes. Tomorrow.
And then we're on for Thursday.
Oh.
So look forward to it, and I want to thank everybody for coming out and joining us today. It was actually a really good session, and
I enjoyed the LNW and EAC's.
Some really LNW really come up with some really cool family stuff. That was neat.
But thank you for having me again, Skipper. I appreciate you, sir. You know that.
Anytime, my friend. Anytime at all. So good night, guys. Have a great one.
Yeah,
and we will see you in a couple of days.
You take care, YouTube Matchmaker, sir, and everybody else. And you have a great night, Skipper. And, of course, give our love to Tracy and to Lightning.
Will do.
Have a pleasant evening, everybody.
Night all.
Bye, Heath.
Bye, Heath.